Okay. Welcome, everyone, to The Journey. This is technically a beta test of the Mauchi Tales RPG system that has been in development for about 7 years, maybe longer. Tonight, we will be following the adventures of Francis and Fenris, an alert navigator with a giant wolf darkness spirit, played by Young Eagle.
Hello.
Lex and Lythra, a deal closer with a wreath-like light spirit, played by Ms. Liz. And Boris and Borkus, a smith with a big red dog fire spirit, played by Manny. So let's join them as they undertake the journey, a rite of passage, and try to start up a trade in the world of spirits. I just do not have enough space for all this stuff. Yeah, that'll work. All right. So, do the players have any questions or comments before we get started?
I'm sure I will, but not at the moment.
Okay.
How do you play this
I
game?
What's that?
don't know.
So how you play this game? Half kidding, of course.
Okay. So, the crew of the Salt... Wait, hang on. We're going to begin. We're going to open our scene here. The crew of the Salt Skipper wait, nope. I'm on the wrong chapter. We're already off to a great start. It says a bit... I blame Campfire for that one. The header said part 1 and it was on part 2. Okay. So nothing inspires the feel of adventure, quite like the image of a sailing ship. The billowing sails, the sharp oars hollered over the bellowing wind, and new horizons crawling ever closer. And nothing kills the feel of adventure quite like the sharp orders being directed at you, the long hours of hard labor, and the slow crawl of the blank landscape to the west. But at least you had the shoreline to the east to drift past, marking your progress as you worked off your passage aboard the Salt Skipper. So far, this journey has been the traditional for your Mauchi village. You set out, planning to spend a year abroad, after which you would be considered an adult. Your home Kotohima only used money in regards to the larger world, and as such, you had to barter your way onto a passing merchant ship. And these merchants, having made this deal before, knew just how to put you to work. So we're gonna, before you even get to everybody's characters, we're gonna go ahead and make an athletics, you can decide how you can help. If you can't think of anything, we're just gonna make athletics. But let me actually share with y'all the skill list. It's probably somewhere in one of these chats already, but how do you think you can contribute to keeping a ship running, even in a small way?
Are there sales?
There are sails.
Probably gonna be a dumb question, and I probably already know the answer to it. But can a fire spirit help the sails go faster?
Interesting concept. I think that is a distinct possibility.
I figured it was more of a wind spirit kind of thing.
Wind spirits are definitely suited for it. They have an expression that can just outright do it. You're gonna have to try, as it were.
Don't burn
Need
the
to
ship
get-
down.
Yeah, you need to get Borkus positioned just properly so that there's enough hot air to like push into the sails, but not so
Right.
much that it becomes dangerous.
I would say you can make a spirit aid check, but instead of aiding you, you're aiding one of the sailors that actually knows what they're doing and it understands the concept better. So to make a spirit aid check, you spend however will points up to your propinquity level, so 1 or 2, and you roll a number.
Oh wait, maybe I should go grab dice.
Well, we're gonna be rolling in the program.
Oh, I have 5 dice here.
That's probably enough for now.
No cheating now.
Yeah, this is a beta test, so we kind of want to see the results. Okay. While I'm figuring out that roll, does anyone else have anything they would like to do?
I think Lex would probably be more helpful in assisting any sort of lookout role.
Lookout? Okay.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and just roll search awareness.
All right, let me see if I can get this right the first time. It's the skill ranking +3 and the talent or less.
Correct.
Woo! All right, so that's going to be 4. Pull it up.
Are they all D6s? I can't remember.
Yeah, it's always a D6. So 2 successes.
That's literally
that's
the
a
one
lie.
dice I don't have.
0 successes. I have 1 rank in awareness. No. God, what's the... I got it right, and then I confused myself. This is perception, I'm assuming? Okay, 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay.
Got there eventually.
All right. All right. So there isn't much to see. It seems it's a remarkably boring trip, to be honest. And we'll come back around to that. So a spirit aid check is double the PL you use it at, Manny. So do you want to spend 1 will point or 2 will points helping out?
I'll just do 1. Don't know if he'll be able to do it.
I'll summon Borkus. All right. So this is a beta test. I'm going to help y'all out with a little bit of things. Will points recover. If you don't use will points, they recover at a rate of PL per hour. I'll be honest, you probably should just use both of them because this is a longer event sort of thing.
Okay, I'll do 2 then.
So roll 4d6. Okay.
And that is... I have to get under a certain number, correct?
Yes. It's going to be 3 or less.
So that's 1 success, I guess?
Mm-hmm. And let's
It says
see.
it's red, but that could be mean it's good.
Yeah, in this game, it usually means it's good. Okay.
Just like tell him, like, all right, you want belly rubs? Gotta go over there. And then gotta go over there.
All right, so you're trying to get Borkus to, kind of blow air into the sail, and the sailor's trying to, like, give you pointers on how to direct him to help him out. As that's happening, Francis, what are you doing?
We could, can I talk to the captain over here? Captain Rel, I think this is?
Sure, what do you want to say to him?
Just ask him how it's, the boat ride's going for him, making sure everything's doing alright.
Okay, so you're, like, asking after the health and, like, mental well-being of everyone?
Sure.
I can call that a leadership check, so you want to make presence. So what do you have ranks in presence? Or insight. Actually, insight might be better. It is more of a, like, it could be like an empathy check thing.
I don't know.
Okay, so go over to your journal.
Oh.
Go to Eagles characters. And under skills, you have awareness, cooking, investigation, and nature rankings. So regardless, you're going to be rolling 3d6.
Okay.
And
That's
if you... Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. That's literally the only dice I don't have.
You don't have 6s? Well, roll it in chat. So what you do is on Foundry, you go to the like chat messages. You go to the square in the bottom right. You write /R space 3d6, and then hit enter.
Is this Young Eagle's first time playing an RPG with us?
Ever, really, on a...
On a VTT,
Website.
yes.
Why? What? All the stupid dice.
I hear a lot of clacking.
Error. 3d6 requested for evaluation. What?
Huh?
You getting this error code?
Click on your token and then try again.
The light was giving me a headache, sorry.
All good.
Any spaces or no?
After the R and before the 3. Hey! Alright, we're going to call it a perception check, although it doesn't, or a perception, because we're going to call it an insight check. It doesn't really matter either way, you roll 2 effort.
That scares me.
Okay. So, the main thing, Eagle, that you learn is that the crew's not terribly impressed with y'all's performances. Borkus actually makes it a little bit more difficult for the sailor to do his job and eventually kind of shoos you away. And they and Lex, you are, you miss some of the, you're looking out over the ocean, and for sailing so close to the shore, you really should be looking down a bit more, and you just kind of just don't do that, and so your inexperience begins to shine through. So the main thing that you succeed at, Francis, is realizing that they're muttering a lot about amateurs, or landlubbers, as it might say. Luckily, the crew of the Salt Skipper is only crude and brash in word, but not deed. When work was done and rest was needed, they invited you to their games of chance and strategy, although they may stack the deck against you in terms of ganging up on y'all. And they told you tales of their travels and did what they could to make you feel welcome enough for your time on the ship. And on one such lazy morning, the captain, who stood out in his well-mannered language and almost military Christmas, called Christmas. He has like a military air about him, not just the kind of like not the crusty sea sailor sort of person. But he calls out to all 3 of you. If my guests could join me on the starboard railing, I have a bit of a treat to show you. As you approach, I would like each of you to describe your characters.
Lex is a fairly small young woman. She's in both stature and size, but has a very confident stride as she walks forward. Her clothes are very nice and put together. They're not fancy per se, but they are well made and maintained, and you can tell that she definitely cares about her appearance.
Okay. Boris?
Boris is a little. How old am I again? Oh,
20
right,
or 21.
Um, yeah, I'm 21, obviously. Yeah. Um, he is a little strange. He looks more at home in a black forge. Not black forge. Forge is blacksmith's forge. That's what I meant to say. Um, he's bald, has a tweedly mustache, real thick tweedly mustache. Doesn't look. He looks like he's 30, 40 years old, but he's 21, and looks like he's in some grimy, smithy outfit. And Boris is a fire dog. That's kind of looks like a big candle. He kind of melts every now and then, but he's got a little flame on top of his head. He's very lazy.
I like to think the like the jowling snout thing, the folds on the snout, those just develop the longer he's corporealized. All right, and
He's not
eagle.
supposed to look like that. He's supposed to look like a German Shepherd.
Yeah.
I'm just a navigator trying to get by. I've got alright clothing made of mostly cotton. I have black silky hair and some pretty nice leather boots. Have a nice cooking set. And Fenris, wherever he is. She's not even on this map.
Well, do you have Fenris corporealized often on the ship? Is the question.
No clue.
It's a choice. Do you want? Yeah, yes or no? Do you want that to be the case?
Probably not. He is
He's
quite
pretty
large.
big, right?
I was gonna say he is a big boy.
Yeah, yeah, definitely not. He could probably weigh the ship down.
All right. Well, the captain, Captain Rel, points starboard towards a collection of rocks sticking out of the water, a few dozen meters from the shoreline and much closer to the salt skipper. Sitting on and swimming about these rocks are creatures, spirits. Though some of them have humanoid forms, seemingly all of them women of various shapes and sizes, you can tell they are spirits by their translucent blue skin. In addition to the feminine, human forms, one of them appears to be more like a seal, lazing on his back. The captain identifies them as sirens, though I think your folk call them selkies. Rather famous for causing unlucky ships to crash, but they aren't all bad. If you give them what they want, and they're the friendly sort, they'll sing you a pretty song to help you out or speed you on your way. If you anger them, or they are the more mischievous sort, well, you'll be lucky to walk away with your ship and your life.
Is there a way to tell from a distance whether they're the friendly or the not friendly sort?
That's a good question. There's a lot of people have different opinions on that. Some think throwing salt, into the sea can help, like in whether or not it foams in a certain way will help to make determinations. There's bone readers. Some claim their spirit. They can send their spirits over to check on them first. That's probably the most realistic option. What do you think? Shall we take the salt skipper a little closer?
Sure. And as she says that, she kind of like messes with her hair a little bit, and I'm gonna corporealize Litha, which just looks like a giant wreath of flowers that just kind of hovers over her head, yellow and white flowers.
Just get a nice shot of that artwork.
pretty.
Even as you do that, Captain Rell's spirit corporealizes. It just looks like a tiny white cat with big wings that look inordinately large for its body, and it just kind of climbs up his back a little bit and spreads the wings out so it looks like he has wings. And he just kind of reaches behind it. That's it.
Francis kind of looks like Yami from Black Clover. They are subtle.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. The Selkies, or sirens, however you want to call them, do notice your approach, and they start sort of making weird cooing noises. They aren't singing yet, and spirits can't speak. They can't use language, would be more accurate. But they're definitely acknowledging you, and you're not. It's a little unclear whether or not they mean you harm, or if they're just playing it up, or if they actually want to, interact with you. Captain's eyes just kind of narrow slightly.
I'm just gonna narrow my eyes and be like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think we should just leave him alone. You never know with these kind of things.
I suppose so.
Well, you can't avoid spirits, wild spirits forever. If you're gonna make it out in the world, you probably should learn how to deal with them.
Captain's choice, I guess.
Could I maybe give them a gift? Sounds more grandiose than I mean it to be. Do you think they might like a little show?
Some of them have been known to enjoy that sort of thing.
I am going to... So, Lytha kind of comes forward and, hovers so that Lex's face is, in the center of her wreath, so it's like she's looking through a porthole. And I am going to use Mirage and make a bright silver dolphin look like it's jumping in and out of the water.
Right.
And very obviously not a real dolphin. I want it to be kind of almost sparkly silver.
Okay.
Human head, something like that.
No, just very pretty.
Okay. So
Basically trying to make it obvious that it's not meant as a deception. It's meant as a, ooh, look at this.
yeah, I would say because Lytha is following your direction, you can make an appeal check, which is a presence check. But you can have Lytha do. I misread the thing for Borkus. Since he didn't have an ability, it should have just been PL D6, not PL times 2d6. But since you have an expression that's relevant, you can use that expressions check, or PL times 2 if it's not available, as a spirit aid. So do Lytha's spirit aid check, PL times 2, d6, and then you can use that to boost your appeal check.
Okay. I also have synchronized effort, presence. So when the spirit uses the spirit aid action to bolster that skill, presence, generates 1 additional effort to the spirit's check on a success.
Nice. So, yeah.
Does it, I don't remember, does it cost a will point to corporealize the spirit?
No, I got rid of that.
Okay, so I can use 2. R4d6. So that's 3 success, or 3 effort?
Well. Oops. Okay, so I rolled 0 resistance, so you do succeed, and therefore I bump it by 1. Basically, that +1 doesn't success or failure.
Your mic's going all kinds of weird. It's getting loud and cutting off.
Hello.
Please hold while we have technical difficulties.
Anyway, so the extra effort only triggers on a success, but you did succeed, so you did get it. It doesn't help you get to the success. So you do have 3 effort. Now, when you succeed on a spirit aid action, you can spend 1 effort to give any number of effort to give an equal amount of advantages to your check. You can spend 2 to just give yourself an effort with an extra effort on that check, or you can do 2 to reduce the time, which I don't think is relevant here.
Okay.
So basically, you can give yourself 3 advantages on your check, or 1 bonus effort and 1 bonus and 1 advantage.
I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. Now you can make your appeal check. Presence, charisma.
And that's, I assume, finesse? Charisma. Okay. So, flash bar.
I mean, under the right circumstances, it could be finesse, but I feel like this is charisma.
Skill rank +3, so 5d6. And it needs to be 4 and under.
Correct.
1, 2, 3. So that's 3 just from the get-go. And then an advantage, I reroll the 6.
Correct.
1d6. So that's 4 effort.
All right. Wait, what's your charisma?
4.
Okay, so you got 1, 2, 3. You re-rolled. You got the 4th, and then you got an extra effort from the thing. So it's 5 effort. That's a well, hang on. Let's see what the resistance is. Let's say they're a little bit difficult to deal with. Making social checks against spirits is more difficult, but we'll see.
Just to make sure, are you intending your rolls to be private?
They will not be from now on.
Okay. I wasn't sure whether you did that on purpose or not, so.
Well, they can
Especially
see
you
it on
said
stream.
that you want all the stuff to be seen, so
Well, they can be seen on stream at the very least. But from now on, they should be public. Okay. That is a
I heard
full
your
3
laugh
resistance.
like twice.
What's that?
Please hold while we have technical difficulties.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay. And we continue. All right. They did roll 3 resistance, so it's a good thing you rolled 5 effort. It is a lovely little thing. It's a lovely little thing, and it causes the otter-like one to swim, to just swim closer. These things are fast swimmers. Pretend that's an otter, not a woman. And the rest are getting just a little bit closer. In fact, this one also jumps in. You seem to have a couple of them on your side already. What else would anyone else like to join in this little show? Or do something else to garner the favor of the sirens?
I'll be on lookout. Make sure nothing bad comes up towards us.
Okay.
Do we know what it likes to eat? They like to eat?
It
Do they
being
eat?
it being a wild spirit probably doesn't really eat.
Oh, right. Forgot it was a spirit. Yeah. Probably just look out on the other side of the boat.
Okay. They get pretty close to the ship, and the captain's kind of bristles a little bit. So actually, they get close enough, and they seem to be like putting their hands on the side of the ship. Then they start climbing it.
Oh,
Can I do an insight check to see if, notice any ill intent?
Absolutely.
It's like start banging pots together. Like, no! Bad spirit.
Insight. Strength 2. So 5. Insight is perception.
Correct.
Yikes. That's 0.
Uh, yeah, it's startling. It's startling, and they're really starting to. Yeah, they are. They're startling, and they are moving up that ship pretty quickly. The flying cat on Ro's shoulders, moves to in front of him, and the some of the sailors kind of back away from the side. Boris and Francis, what would you like to do?
Just run straight to it to see what's happening.
Okay.
I could just probably hear it, like, climbing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So you can use an incidental action to move 5 meters. So if you go to the left-hand side of the screen, near the top, you'll see like a person. It will say token controls. And then below that, you'll see a measure distance thing.
Mhm.
You can, how's this work? You select your token, click on it. You hold Control. Nope. Alt. You hold Alt. Nope, not Alt. Shift. And then, yeah, you hold Shift, you drag it out. And that did not work in any way, shape, or form. You can just measure it out and then move it to wherever, up to 5 meters away, so you can see how. I think you can see my measure. So yeah, basically you can
Why?
move. Sorry. You can move to the other side of the ship as an incidental action, so you still have a main action to do something.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see how to measure. Oh. Oh. So I can make it to the other side, but pretty easily.
Correct. Just a
Yeah,
casual.
just go straight to the other side.
Okay, you can move your character. You just go back up to token select, which is like the broken square next at the top. Yep, there you go. Okay, you still have a main action.
I don't know what to do at the moment.
Okay, so you can try to scare them off. You can try to do the same thing, just kind of do an insight, kind of get a read on them. You can summon your spirit in case things get hairy, but that might threaten them if they're not already being threatening.
Hmm.
Slap, 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 slap. They're crawling up the side. Slap.
I'd probably just stay there and see what happens, honestly.
Okay. And that leaves Boris.
I'm going to grab an oar and go try to smack him. Like, get off!
You're going to smack him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, get off!
Can I try and intercept and stop him? Because that just sounds like a bad idea.
Crawl up the ship! You don't want them on the ship!
They might just be trying to say hi. You're about to antagonize them and get them angry at us.
Okay, how about y'all make... Okay, Manny, or have Boris do an unarmed check, and Litha, or no, this is very Lex make an unarmed like grapple check.
So how do I do this again? You've gone
gonna
through
win
several rule changes. I'm not sure if I remember correctly.
You don't have any ratings in any weapon abilities, so just go ahead and roll 3d6, and you can use either brawn or finesse.
It's anything under my brawn rating, right?
Yeah.
That's that's a 2.
Using finesse, that's a 3.
Okay. So.
You
You
muted
did
yourself.
But, okay. So,
You
yeah.
did it again.
Lex is going to use her reaction, and you grab the oar, and she has plenty of time to react to you as you walk up, and she just grabs it and pushes it to the side.
What do you think you're doing?
They're getting on the ship. They're gonna hurt us.
Who knows that?
Fine, but if they hurt us, I'm blaming you.
And with that, they get on the ship, and they stand, and the seal-like one just kind of comes up and plops and gets the bottom of Lex's pants all.
Can I try? I'm gonna lean down and try and kind of stroke him a little bit. Her, it, them.
Usually spiritual it's.
Okay.
And it just goes,
See, you almost smacked it.
and
I'm just gonna hold him. I don't know.
the feminine one, the female-looking one, walks up. The sailor that was walking dead just kind of like leans against the mop he has, and it just kind of like gives her a stupid grin.
I imagine Borkus like gets up, interested for a second, and just kind of sniffs at one of them.
As time passes, it seems like it seems clear that they are not harming you, and the other two are now closing in out of interest. And this one actually starts like moving around the deck, looking up at the sails in wonder and awe. And the other two climb up.
Is it normal for them to just be so interested and, allowing them to do this?
Captain Earl kind of steps forward. He's like, it's, I guess wild spirits are always unknown. It's a treat, really, figuring out, even if that treat sometimes means harrowing danger. But other times it means any like gestures at the sirens who are kind of like trying to mimic the show you put on with the illusion of the dolphin on the deck of the ship. And you sailing past the rocks for a while, and eventually the sirens kind of look back towards it, and Raoul nods, kind of sages like they're anchored to the coral reefs, the shallows reefs. So they can't go with us much further.
Can you just leave, or will they just like disappear on their own?
Either could happen. Even as he says that, they start singing a wordless a cappella. Just sounds and things that almost sound like words but don't have any inherent meaning, except the meaning that resonates within you, a sort of chilling resonance that also kind of gives you energy. And you all gain the benefit of the Selkie song.
I just want to point out that most things, thankfully, in our ocean, the real ocean, don't crawl out of the ocean and get on ships. Normally, that's reserved for like horror movies. So,
Says the guy with a burning flame dog.
the candle.
Lex has just been sitting on the deck of the ship with her legs crossed, like playing with the seal Selkie like it's a dog the entire time.
He's not crawling like into somebody's house or anything.
Okay. Y'all might want to write this down, but you guys have a song of blessing. You will
Song
have
of blessing?
yeah, song of blessing. You will gain
Hang on.
2 effort to 1 check of your choice before the end of next session. I will not keep track of this for you.
Can you give us the ability to manipulate our own journals? Never
Yeah,
mind.
it's, I'm
I
putting
was
in.
clicking
I
the
was
wrong
trying to put in
button.
something in the notes category. It won't let me.
I really should.
I was clicking the wrong button. We're good.
What button
Wait,
do I
wait.
press?
Yeah, you're the owner.
I didn't know
You
we.
should-
We can enter
There's
journal
like a
stuff.
little pencil in the corner, but every time I click it, it doesn't do anything.
It should
Mine
do a
doesn't even have
pop-up.
a pencil.
Yeah, it goes to a pop-up.
When it's already popped up, does that mean it?
So you have the pop-up of the journal, and then when you click the edit, it pops up a second window. Or I guess the third window.
Oh, here it is. It's on the other screen that I didn't have. It was Selkie's
If you want to be
song.
like real specific about it, it's Selkie's Song of Blessing.
What does it do
My
again?
journal.
You will get 2 advantage to a check of your choice before the end of next session. It's like a bardic inspiration, but more long lasting.
My journal does not appear to have that.
Uh,
I put it in a notes category. That's how I did it.
I have archive and rules.
no. Go to Stream PCs.
I have to save it.
You can see that, right?
Hang on, let me try to refresh the journal. I do not see that.
Uh,
There it is now.
okay, yeah, I can click on Eagle's characters. And it might be best if you hit add page at the bottom and just like make a notes page.
2 advantages for the next session.
No idea what you just said.
Something about 2 advantages.
I wrote down 2 advantages to checks before the next session. Is that right?
Before the end of next session, yeah. Alright, and from that journal, if you hover over like near what it says journal, you'll see a like little pencil and a square icon appear. You'll click on that, it'll pop out a new window for some reason, and that's your editor, and you can just add words to it that way.
Would you call it Song of Blessing?
Song of Blessing. If you want to be specific, Selkie's Song of Blessing. +2 advantage to a check of your choice before the end of next session. Half of this is learning the system, the other half is learning VTTs.
Yeah, I just realized today that while we were playing that Young Eagle hasn't played with us before, so it's gonna be interesting.
Okay. So, once the song ends, you still feel it vibrating within your body, and you will continue to do so until its blessing runs out. And then they sort of sink into water and slide back off of the ship, and just seem to become part of the wake of the ship.
Well, that was fun. I'm gonna smell like seawater for days.
That was gonna happen anyway.
That's the downside to having the Selkie song blessing.
Yeah, you just smell like seawater until you use it, until it gets used up. That'd be a fun detail. Okay, you are continuing on to the north, to Grutan, a foreign country. We're not quite halfway through, but we're going to, since we did finish an event, we're going to take a quick break. Ready to go? So, after a few days aboard, the crew of the Salt Skipper drops you off, along with a cargo of spices at the Grutan coastal town called Gromod Sill.
It's an interesting name.
Grommasil?
Gromod Sill. Gromod Sill.
I did not see anything.
Oh, jeez.
It's all black.
Yeah, it says you do not
That's-
have any tokens on this map.
I don't get any tokens on this map. That's really annoying. Okay, lighting. If disabled, okay. There we go.
Hi.
There
Oh.
we go.
This is detailed.
It's pretty.
Ooh, neat.
That's okay,
They look like stone towers here.
because there are stone towers. There's a stone tower here. There's one here on top of this building.
Oh, I just there's a
I see what
dungeon
you
I
mean. It's like
know.
right here.
What?
No,
Like-
there's a dungeon that I know of that's literally called Stone Tower, and it looks like this one right here. If you can see my
Yeah, I can see it.
thing.
What were
Yeah.
you saying, Manny?
I thought he was talking about how the lighting on this made it kind of look like it was a tower of stone, but I was
Uh-huh.
completely misreading that.
It's kind of more like coastal dunes. That was the vibe I was going for. Your home, Kotohima, is also a coastal town, but that's about all it seems to share in common with Gramod-Sil. Your home is a few hundred people living in a cliff-face network of cays, with a single floating dock in its bay. The Gruten town you now stand in has nearly as many just in its own multi-dock port, with a town spread out beyond the swampy inlets, dotting the hilly landscape. It is here that your true challenge begins. In Mauchi, you are not considered an adult until you spend 1 year abroad. Adulthood in Mauchi means the right to marry, own a business, hold public office, and a few other rights. You've decided to work together to make the most of this year abroad. You won't just have the right to start a business, you want to have all the groundwork laid. You want to bring high-quality ores to Mauchi. Hence, you sailed north to Grutan. It is said that anything Grutan doesn't have, it trades in. Although you aren't certain about any specific mines, Grutan is considered a land of plenty, and you are sure there will be a great place to start somewhere in this country. But in the meantime, this is your first time abroad. You can already smell food being prepared in a different way than you're used to. You can see the strange architecture beyond the port. You can hear strange accents. What would you like to do?
First things first, lunch.
Yeah.
Food.
Food.
New food.
Not where I thought this
Do-
was going, but I agree.
Is there a common tongue among the countries, or do we have to like, of course, in the language too?
This region mostly speaks the same language, just slightly different dialects. Enough to get by.
But there are different languages.
There are different languages. You just have to go pretty much past. There's kind of a desert further inland, and that's kind of like the great language border of the
I
continent.
want to zoom into town, but my thing won't let me.
It only zooms so far.
It only zooms in a certain spot too.
If you right-click, you can hold right-click and drag. You can move it around, and then you'll zoom in different places.
Finally. I kept trying that, but it didn't work for me until just now.
Foundry's finicky. It works great, mostly. All right. So, you want to get some food. Gluten. So, Mauchi cuisine, or I should say Kotohima cuisine, is a lot of fish. Just so much fish. There's dairy. You have dairy as well because you have very hardy mammals that live in the highlands. And occasionally like eggs and things like that. So not a lot of vegetables, which is not a lot of fruits and vegetables in your diet. So that's kind of like the fresh new thing here. You have berries and like figs and things like that, but there's a lot more plant-based stuff in this in this country than what you are used to.
Is there any meat?
What?
Is there any meat?
Oh yeah, there's meat. There's meat. It is expensive compared to the vegetables. To
Money
them,
do we have?
the meat is the rare. We only eat it every so often. Whereas to you guys, if you consider fish meat in the context of this, it's like most of your meals have meat in them.
I guess I only have 2,000 alu. How much meat can we get for that?
How much? Just here's the meat. Here's just.
I have no use for this. Give me meat.
Is Alu like when we say we have 2,000 or 3,000? Is that like dollar or is that like yen?
Closer to yen. It's more like pennies.
Okay.
But again, it's not fully comparable.
I just mean in terms of like 2,000 Alu is not like $2,000 is like a lot of money.
Nah.
2,000
Well,
Alu is not
backpack
a
is
ton.
1,000.
Okay.
That's kind of the frame of reference I use for everything. A
It's
backpack
like,
is
how many
1,000.
backpacks is a city made of diamond worth?
Uh,
This is a conversation me and Edward have had.
yeah. The answer was a lot, but not nearly as much as it probably should be.
Looks at something, he's like, oh, there's a city made of diamond. Man, I wonder how many backpacks.
Anyway, you can get a meal. Let me find the it's chapter 6, I believe. Do, 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 do. Do.
Not looking for anything fancy. Local fare.
Local fare.
Local
Alright.
fancy.
You
I
can
think this is the food spot.
you can get a meal, like a pre-prepared meal, is about 400 alu.
Does it have meat in it?
450.
Okay. I guess I'll do that then.
All right. 400, and that's just that's for enough food to basically get you through the day, for simplicity's sake more than anything. As a reminder, Eagle Francis does have nature skills, so when you guys are not in the city, it might actually be easier to feed yourselves because he can hunt and gather.
I believe I also have a cooking set.
That too. I don't think I updated your equipment. You have a cooking set and a light bow. You have a tier 1 cooking set and a light bow with no arrows. And no money. So someone's going to
I
have
have
to
a
pay for it.
bow of light.
No. A light bow as opposed to a heavy bow.
I know.
A
I
bow
know.
of light?
Also, he has no money, so someone's probably going to have to pay for him.
Split it.
With him. Yeah. I have a very big spirit companion. It means I need to eat a lot more. I'm eating for like 3 now.
That's not how this works.
Also, wouldn't work given
Not-
that Francis has the biggest spirit companion.
Guess I'll just pay.
I mean,
Fine.
I feel like if our spirits did eat half of them, we could just go hunting.
Yeah.
You really should have prepared more for this. We're going to, you don't get the one with the meat, though.
He did. That's why he has no money. He has equipment.
You're not
So-
getting the meat.
Okay.
All right. So I think,
Fish is fine.
Liz, I think you missed it. He said fine. So I'm going to say you pay 200 each for his meal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
We need more money.
Having vegetables so prominent does take some getting used to. But it's not unpleasant. It's just very different from what you're used to.
Do we get the stomach-related problems with eating salads?
I am not in a fantasy game getting Bali Belly. That's just not happening.
There you go.
What'd you call it?
Bali Belly.
Bali belly. I've never heard that term.
It's not
Is
like a
there
real
bread?
thing. It's just because Bali is a very tropical area. People who do not live there, who vacation there, very often have like really bad food poisoning the first couple of days just because they're not used to the stuff that happens in food there. It's like pretty much guaranteed you're going to get food poisoning in a lot of tropical areas if you're not from there.
It's just like drinking water.
Yeah.
Like going to Mexico.
All right. You notice as you finish your meal, there's a lot more emphasis on commerce than what you're used to. Pretty much the entire city center is focused on vendors, people. You pulled into port pretty early in the morning, and people are already like, you see people arguing over spots. Apparently, it's whoever shows up first gets to claim a spot in the market square. Those who can't afford permanent buildings on which to sell, and some people are already set up. One person is speaking really fast, really loudly. It takes you a few iterations of his pitch for you to understand what he's saying, but essentially he's saying that they are hosting an open air cooking competition. It's 1,000 alu to enter, workstation ingredients provided, and the winner gets 5,000 alu.
I would join
Francis,
if I
how
had
good are you
to.
at cooking?
And I have nature skills, and I have a cooking set, so I would say probably.
You have a cooking skill too. Look at that.
What's your cooking skill rank?
Good question. I need to figure that out.
Did you make his character, or
Francis.
did he do it?
Half and half. I asked him questions until a character came out of it. So go to Francis. Go to
Tastes
page
like watermelon. Oh.
I feel like Francis has less than Fenris.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly did not see it.
So you go into Francis. You go to skills. The skills are in alphabetical order. So you see the word cooking, and all the way across from it is SR1.
I'm not sure that that's going to be... I think you're a good cook. I don't think you're a competition-winning cook, probably.
If it was like a couple hundred to enter, I'd say, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Can we find... Whichever we find first, either a... like a jeweler or a smithy.
Okay. So you can make a investigation. Probably doesn't matter because I don't think any of y'all have skill feats, but this would be like a city navigation check. But investigation, intelligence.
Do we all have to do it, or just Liz?
Just Liz.
That is 3. What's the difference between success and effort? When does one term used over the other?
So effort is the number of dice you count that are good.
Okay.
And then success is if that exceeds the amount of resistance.
Okay.
So the check can succeed. The individual dice are effort or no.
Gotcha. So 3 effort.
3 effort. All right. Should be a terribly difficult thing to find even in an unfamiliar city, so...
I would prefer to find a smithy, but like if we just kind of stumble into a jeweler, if that's easier to find.
Okay. All right. I've rolled 0 resistance, ergo you find whichever one you prefer.
Blacksmith.
All right. You find a blacksmith. It is mostly noticeable by the fact that it has thicker smoke coming out of it than any place that's producing food.
Makes sense.
It is partially built into the ground, so you have to go down some steps to get to it. And when you get inside, you see just a very burly person leaning over a forge, and you can see a multi-headed fire serpent sticking its head out and like literally coiling flames, just turning in on itself. So like kind of like writhing, one head going into the furnace, another head coming out at any given moment.
Very cool.
Like that.
Is there anyone that looks like they're more designated as a salesperson, or is it just the guy at the forge?
It is literally just the guy at the forge. There is a desk. It is plopped there. It is not built into the thing, and it is more like a little podium sort of like lectern.
Okay. I'm gonna rap on that and just say, "Hi, afternoon."
Person turns around and you see that it is a 5'11" woman. And she kind of like turns around, just pulls the gloves off. It's like, yes, welcome. I don't recall. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with appointments. I didn't know that anyone is supposed to be coming at the moment.
Oh, we didn't have an appointment. I'm sorry. Were we supposed to, who do we schedule that with? I mean, we're not looking for a specific, I just have a question.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Where do you purchase your ores from?
That's an unusual question to be asking.
Yes. Yes, it is.
The Phineas and Ferb answer. I like it. It's gonna be another investigation check, but it's gonna be asking questions, which uses charisma.
I would like to assist in that.
Okay. How are you going to assist?
I'm going to ask other questions.
Yeah, be a little more specific than that.
Questions that Liz might have forgotten to say.
Okay, so you're gonna
Starts talking shop.
start talking shop. You can make an appeal check for that, which is
What is
presence.
appeal? The only thing I have of skills is athletics and smithing.
Okay, then just roll 3d6 and try to roll equal or below your charisma. Yeah, if anything's not listed there, then you're rolling 3d6.
That is a complete failure.
Yep, just 0. Luckily, HX doesn't really hurt it.
That is 3 effort.
Okay. It's an
Effort is
innocuous question, but
successes,
it is
right?
being asked rather abruptly, so I am going to say this is going to be a reasonably hard thing. It is also kind of like trade. I'm just going to say 3d6 on this resistance.
I was gonna
That's
say
all.
this feels like a trade secret kind of thing. Like you kind of have to wink and nudge, maybe bribe someone, kind of thing.
Accidentally placed something on the board. Whoops.
Lex is not a tradesman.
Oh, well, I don't know exactly who gives it to me, per se. You kind of have to work with guilds a lot. I can tell by your accent you're not from around here. You're not an archipelago. You're not from one of the archipelagos, are you?
No, Kodohima. Kodohima? What's the
I like
pronunciation?
I like the first one you said. How'd you say it?
Kodohima?
Kodohima.
That's
I
That
like
sounds ridiculous.
Kodohima.
It sounds good. It just
I say Kodohima, like I really emphasize the different syllables, but Kodo. I like the way you said it.
Kojima.
Kodohima.
Even though I can't really say it myself. I like it.
Well, weren't you the one that says like I'm not gonna tell people how to pronounce it, I'm just gonna let people do it?
Yeah. So
Figure it out.
so Liz has now determined that one. I can't say it though. I'm gonna have to practice that. between
Kodihima?
sessions. In response to that, she gives you a blank stare.
Mauchi. Coastal.
Oh, you're from the tiny place that keeps sending people out. Oh wow, I'm honored you chose us.
See, that's kind of part of my question. Our area is not exactly ripe with minerals and such, and our smiths tend to have a bit of a hard time procuring materials. And I was hoping to maybe look at starting up a trade route. And I know where it needs to end up, but I have to figure out. But I keep saying my friends and I, need
Aye.
to figure out where that trade route starts.
Hard to be a better smithy if you don't have the good ores to work with.
Makes sense. All right. Well. Oh, you say okay. I just realized I could have had you do like. I should note that. charisma with any skill to like talk shop. So I can add that to like the knowledge endurance section. Remember that for later. Okay. Well, I see. Well, in this country, to really do anything that has, they like to say, high skill or danger, but it's really high profit. You have to go through guilds. Guilds are kind of your ticket to anything. I don't even like really deal with the guild directly. I kind of just deal with the guild representative, and they collect the guild fees, and then they get me ores. It's very hands off from my perspective. But if you're looking for a guild, if you're looking for ores, I deal with Opal Knight. They're kind of an all-arounder, overland transport sort of guild.
Did you say Opal Knight?
Opal Knights.
Knights. I thought there was a knight of opals.
Knight as in opposed to day, not as in a warrior.
No fancy opal encrusted knights for us, I guess.
Not yet. Maybe I'll throw that into D&D. The rivals of the Crimson Knights. Oh dear.
Exactly am I doing right now? Am I just watching this happen?
Yeah, you're with them. If you feel free to chime in, or if you want to say you want to like go off and frolic and do some other nonsense, or you think you can do something more useful, you are.
How about force and click stuff?
You want to just while they're doing this, you want to go hunting or gathering.
Yeah.
You don't have arrows, so hunting might be difficult.
I mean, I could just place a stick.
Arrows are more than just a stick.
Yeah, but I could kill a squirrel.
I mean, yeah.
How much would, like, I don't know, 20 arrows cost?
Arrows under weapons. A bundle of 10 costs 4,000 alu, but basically each arrow costs 400.
Well, I was going to offer to buy some, but yeesh. You make some traps.
Okay.
Gotta work on our survival craft.
Can we say in our journey to find the smithy, we found an inn or halfway house that like we'll be planning to stay at for the night, so if we break up we just know to meet back there?
Yeah, sure.
How much does it cost?
None of that
when
touristy
you
bullshit.
get there, they immediately clock your accent. It's Mauchi. Mauchi are famous, especially in inns, and they immediately offer you a deal to just work in the kitchen for 2 hours for a night.
Woohoo!
I thought that was going the opposite direction.
Same. I was like, oh god, they're gonna scalp us. Yay!
I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but in general, the inns tend to be a little bit.
We
nice.
found one of the more reputable places.
In general, inns and those sorts of places tend to be inns and the ships. They tend to be more sympathetic and helpful. But everyone else, you've been told they try to take advantage of naive Mauchi folk.
Okay. So I'm just gonna go out, dig a hole, and make a pit trap.
Okay. This is gonna sound funny.
Let's stab some squirrels.
You need to make an engineering check for that.
Okay,
You
do I
need an
even?
engineering check to dig a damn hole?
Well, it's not about
Because
digging
you also
the
have to
hole.
place the sticks above it and like layer dirt on it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough.
It's a trap check, technically. It's a trap engineering check. So since you don't have engineering, just roll 3d6. It being just a pit trap, I'm going to say it's a 1d6 difficulty. It is very simple. Actually, no. That's not how it works. Just go ahead and roll it. And what is your intellect?
Intellect. Good question. My intellect um is 4.
4. Okay. Basically, a trap is a delayed attack. So I'm just going to go ahead and roll the squirrels. The squirrel is very, very startled, but does manage to scramble out of the trap before it actually hurts it. The
Oh
trap
man.
activates and collapses, but it just scurries out and runs away. That
Darn.
being said, it didn't. You didn't fail the check. It was a tie. So I'm gonna say you can go ahead and you have a couple options. You can just make an attack against it. You don't have weapons with ammunition, so I guess it would be unarmed if you want to just try to catch it. Good luck. Or you can try to track it and see if you can sneak up on it later.
I'm just now realizing a squirrel probably wouldn't be heavy enough to even feed anybody or even activate the trap, but
I was like, man, we got a horde of squirrels. That's awesome. Everybody gets 5 squirrels, even the spirit companions.
um you know what? I'll just track where it goes. Maybe there'll be hundreds of squirrels there or something.
All right, you can make a nature check.
What is my nature?
Your nature is you should have some. Oh, wrong one.
Um nature is SR2.
All right, so you roll 3 more d6 than your SR.
Roll 3 more what?
D6 than your SR. So take your SR, add 3,
Which is 5
5, and so you roll
slash.
5d6.
Does it have to be a capital D?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
That is terrible.
No, son. You want to roll low. I guess it is not that great. This is a tracking is a perception roll, I believe. So that's actually not bad for you. You roll 4 effort. And reduced by 1 resistance. So 3 effort. It's a pain without weapons. But eventually you are able to catch a couple of squirrels. Enough to feed everyone, to give everyone a warm meal. It's
Woohoo!
a pain. You have to like find their nest, and you can't. And again, you don't have any proper weapons, so you have to like makeshift something with like branches and everything. You get the job done. It's messy, even with 3 effort. It's messy, but you get done what you need to get done.
Okay.
All right. So now that you know you're heading to the Opal Knights, we're going to say that all that took about half a day. What would you like to do?
Can I observe? Will she let me like observe her working? Like just try to get some ideas.
Okay. How do you want to convince her to do that?
I'll sit in the corner. I won't say anything unless you let me to, and I won't bother you. I'll sit in the corner. I just want to see you work and try to see how the masters do it.
That will be an appeal presence check.
Okay. You. There's appeal what?
It's a presence. The skill is presence, so just
I don't have
3d6, 3 or less.
And what do I look for? Is it perception or
Charisma.
charisma? It's one success, one. What's the word?
The word
Effort.
is effort.
1 effort.
Okay. It's not an unreasonable request, and he's
Please hold while we have technical difficulties.
all right. So she doesn't really answer. She seems to be quite uncomfortable with the situation, and just kind of like moves around. And she doesn't really give you permission, but she doesn't tell you to get out either. And before you know it, she's back in the zone, and the only time she ever talks is to her spirit companion, just kind of like with her gloved hand, just like putting her hand on top of each of the heads as they poke out, just kind of like muttering sweet nothings to it, just like, oh, man. It's just like, oh, you're doing a good job. Yep, your heat's a little high there. Cool. Oh, you're good. Okay. Just kind of like coaxing the fire hydra through the whole thing.
Where's that meme where Miles is looking at Peter Parker? It's just me looking at her. I'm like, uh-huh.
Okay. Lex, you are, as you're kind of, I don't know exactly what you're doing, since he's watching and Francis is hunting.
I'm gonna try and make a little money.
Make a little money.
I'm gonna kind of walk through town a little bit and look for. Well, first I should see if this is the thing that even happens around here. Are there any like street performers out and about?
Absolutely. Most of them have instruments. This country seems to really like its string instruments.
Like a lyre.
I want to go somewhere where you can hear one of the musicians, but not like anywhere near them. Like I'm not trying to steal their audience. Far enough away that that's not happening, but close enough that you can still kind of hear their music.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna summon Litha and use Mirage and make basically just like a little dancing puppet show to whatever the music is.
So on the first part, finding correct location, I would like you to make a read a crowd check, which is an insight check.
Okay. So 5. And that's presence again, right? No.
It's
Intellect.
perception.
Perception. I'll get there eventually. Perception is 1 effort.
1 effort. And trying to find a good spot is not the worst thing in the world, but it is a trick. 1 resistance. So your spot you pick is neither good nor great for what you're going for. There's definitely overlap with the performer, and a lot of people are more drawn to noise. That in this, like, a coherent noise in a city stands out more than a flashy show, if that makes sense. But it neither hurts nor hinders. That's a tie roll. So with that in mind, you can do basically the same thing you did with the sirens. You can do a spirit aid check followed by an appeal check.
I'm sorry, remind me again. Spirit aid is the 3d6, right?
Spirit aid, since you're using a relevant expression, is double whatever PL you use it at.
Okay. 2 effort.
Okay. So you can translate that to 1 automatic effort or 2 advantages.
I'm gonna say advantages.
Okay.
2 advantages, and then what's the second one? Sorry.
It's 3 effort because synchronize.
You're right.
So so you want to do 3 advantages or 1 advantage and 1 effort?
1 advantage, 1 effort. I like that.
All right. So presence check.
5d6. 1, 2, 3 effort.
And you have a reroll.
Error reroll. Slash R1d6. Phooey. So 4 effort total.
4 effort total. And how difficult is this task? Well, you are just trying to make money, so it's more about... That should be 1 effort, yeah. Funny thing about rolling 7 on 2d6 is that it kind of has to be 1 effort. Or 1 resistance in this case. So the total was 4, so you got 3 total. That's a fair bit of money. You make more than a day's wages off that, so we'll say 1,500 Alu. Okay.
Yay! That's more than I walked in with.
Yeah, people are just dropping. People are throwing shells to your spirit, and Litha is just like swooping and catching them, and its leaves. A couple of kids stop and go, "I've never seen a spirit like that before."
As soon as they say that, Litha like kind of drifts over and lands sort of on top of them and like spins and little sparks come down.
I want a light spirit. As you end one of your performances, man kind of comes up to you. It's just like, and it's like, you know, yeah. It's like, yeah. Well, I can spot a traveler. You're new to these parts. Are you aware of the dangers of traveling the roads of from here to to the next city over? It's more than a day's travel, so you're gonna have to spend the night out there. Darkness spirits come creeping out at night. But I have made a little talisman. In the shape of our grand high castle sun symbol. It will protect you from darkness spirits wherever you go.
As he's saying that, Litha just like drifts over this bright, shining light spirit and kind of just lands on Lex's head. And I just look at him like, I'll pass. Thanks, though.
Eventually, you all reconvene. Do your couple hours of work. Yeah. It's your first day. Like, technically, you've been out of the country for a few days because of the boat trip. But it's your first day, like, in a foreign society. And so far, you have learned that it is a little exhausting. But you're looking around, you see all sorts of new spirits. Of course, you see a lot of spirits, no matter where you go in this world. But it's so fun to see all the different forms that they can take. And you know that you are looking for the Opal Knight Trade Guild. So, would you like to turn in for the night?
How much does it cost? Oh, right. Never mind. We already
You
went
paid
over
for it
that.
with labor. Do.
Yeah, I guess we'll go cook.
Did Young Eagle secure our dinner?
Yes. Technically, y'all, like, mechanically speaking, y'all are fed for the day, so he has enough to feed y'all for tomorrow. Now,
You're muted, by the way.
she just snapped. She didn't say anything.
Oh, I looked over. She looked like she did something, and you said, yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry.
The next day, day 2. Well, we'll say This is day 5 of 360 days out in the world. This
So do
campaign
we
doesn't
have
end
to?
until you're done.
I
Okay. What?
Sorry, I was gonna ask. Is it Is this a set period of time we have to do this, or do we have to do this until we like bring something back or
You
like
don't
finish
have
the
to do
task?
anything. Y'all are doing this of your own volition. All you have to do to be considered adults in Mauchi is be outside the country for a year and then choose to come back.
I didn't know if it was like we had to bring something back or something that'll help the village or something.
Nope. Bringing something back is just a good way for y'all to. Sorry, Liz sounds like she has a good explanation.
I just we're overachievers.
Uh,
It's like going to college and then also getting a paid internship.
Mauchi culture is based off the idea that if you don't want to be here, don't be here. That's why they send people
Get
out.
out of here. We don't want you. We don't need you.
All right. So day 5, what would you like to do?
Do we want to jump right into this? Are we gonna go find the Opal Knights, or is there something the two of you would like to pursue?
You're the manager. You're the your management. So I go with you. You go with. And I'm not being lazy or anything. Yeah. You're the leader. You're the face.
You have the leader, the producer, and the supporter.
All right. Well, I'm gonna just like I don't know who the best person to ask would be. I'm just gonna ask the whoever's like tending the bar or doing the general management of the inn on our way out. Any idea where we could find the Opal Knights? The Opal Knight Guild.
Oh. Yes. So one of their suppliers should be in. Oh no, we're not being supplied today. It'll be a few days before they show up. I don't actually know myself. The guy that runs this place. He mostly works the night shift. It's a busier shift, you know. So I'm just kind of filling this spot. I don't do a lot of logistics. But you can, we do have there is an archive here. Kind of hard to get into, to be honest. But, there's people, less reputable people who like sell you information. It's reliable, but they're still kind of shady if you know where to look.
I think maybe we spend the day trying to make a little more money or explore the city and come back and ask the other fella tonight. It's not like we're in a rush.
Yeah, sounds good. How do we
Yeah.
make money?
Well, I make money with Litha, and you may need to find yourself a temporary apprenticeship or something. I don't know. Daily.
Can I go try to make arrows out of like sticks, some stones I find, and maybe like string?
Fletching is not easy.
Boris would be better at it. It's a smith that
Can you
is.
help me make some arrows, Boris?
Sure, I was gonna go talk to the blacksmith lady, but yeah,
Yeah, you
that'll
can
help
do
us
that.
that'll help us in the long run. So
All right, let me see. What does it take to make some arrows? Okay, so you can spend an hour on an arrow. You can spend a half day on making 10 arrows.
I'll just spend half the day doing 10 arrows,
Okay.
and the other half I'll go talk to what's her name and see if I can.
So you can either pay 2,000 2,000 alu for the materials, or one of you can do a nature check to gather the supplies.
You're better at looking for things.
Yeah.
I'm more
Okay.
good at making things.
So, how many dice do I have to roll?
What's your nature?
I believe it's SR1. Let me check again. No, it's SR2.
So you
So
roll.
5d6.
Yep, you got it. Okay. And your perception is?
Perception. 4.
4. So I'm going to ask you, how much effort do you think you produced?
Probably
So
most. Sorry, what?
click on the big 16. It'll show you the individual dice.
There's a 16.
In the chat,
Mhm.
you rolled 5d6. It outputted 5d6, gave you a 16.
Yep.
So click on the bigger 16.
Mhm.
Now you can see each individual die.
Mhm.
So how much effort did you produce?
5.
So it's each individual die. You count the ones that are your perception or lower.
And my perception is 4.
Correct.
So 3.
4. You produce 4.
Oh.
4 or lower. So the 3, the 4, and the 2
Okay.
twos. So you got 4 effort, and when you gather resources like this, you basically reduce the cost by 25% per effort. Ergo, you got enough for the whole thing.
Cool.
I might have to tweak those numbers a bit, but it's easy to get here, so it's undefended. So technically, Boris, he's doing that during the first half of the day. You can still hang out with the blacksmith during that half of the day if you like.
I'll hang out with the blacksmith for half the day, and when he gets the stuff, I'll tell him I'll work on that then.
All right. Do you
Well,
want
that's
to approach the situation differently, since she seemed a little standoffish the first day?
I told him like I'll clean up your shop if you show me a couple things.
Okay. Okay. It's gonna be another presence check. So this one would be barter, but you don't have anything in presence anyway, so. Uh-oh. It's another tie, it looks like. You got 2, unless your charisma's 4.
No, it's 3.
All right, so it's another tie. And once again, she's just kind of grunts and ignores you. Once again, doesn't stop you from observing. And you are learning things just by watching her, but doesn't really seem to help you out either.
I'd like to think that I'm taking notes and learning. Maybe not learning the right way, but I'm learning something.
She seems to almost intentionally keep her back to you. Lex, second verse, save us first. All right. Do you want to do another reading crowd check to help out?
Anime has proven that if I do this enough times, she'll eventually warm up to me.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the 4d6. It's 3, 4, and then
Another tie. Part of this is my roll is throwing everything off.
Stop
so
rolling good.
Oh wait, no, that's your assist. Sorry, I thought you were doing the read crowd roll first.
Oh, oops. No, wrong. I did the wrong thing. That's the one that's just 3d6, right? Because I don't have.
Yeah.
Woof.
Okay. So
So I got a bad spot today.
yeah, you got a pretty bad spot. Pretty much as soon as you start, someone else moves in. It's kind of unfortunate, but with that in mind, now you rolled 3 plus 1, so 4 on the spirit aid. Can you do 2 on the effort thing? I need to double check that. Yes.
I think I'd rather have 2 effort and 2 advantages. Or 1 effort and 2 advantages. If that's. I can.
Oh, well, you have 4, so you could just do straight up 2 effort. Or you could do 1 effort and 2 advantages. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 effort, 2 advantages. You lose an advantage due to your spot. So you have 1 effort, 1 advantage.
Okay. Okay, so 3 total? I'm understanding. 4.
Okay, 4 effort. That's pretty good. And only 1 resistance. So that's 3 effort. Pretty much the same thing as last time. You get 1,500 Elu. It's a steady workflow. You make a good show.
You gonna share some of this with the crew?
I figure I'm going to end up paying for half of everything anyway.
That's what a leader does. That's what the face is for.
Basis for paying for things?
Well, they don't fight, so they gotta pay some other way.
All right.
Gotta use your face.
Second half of the day comes. You can make your smithing check now.
Oh, me? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have an SR3 in that. How's that working again?
You roll 3 more d6 than your ranking.
And that's still under. Is that under my brawn?
That would be under your intellect.
Influence? Oh, smithing SR3, so it would be under 3, right?
No. It goes your intellect or lower for each.
Oh, my intellect. Okay. Sorry. So that's 4 effort.
4 effort, and how difficult is it to make arrows? Shouldn't be too difficult. Probably have a very easy check on that one. Oh, 0. All right. You make just the finest quality. You don't have any feats, so you can't, like, actually make better stuff. You need feats for that. But you make just the most pristine, by-the-book, proper arrows. You make a full...
I know you said feats, but it sounded like you said beats with a B. I'm just like, why do I need vegetables for this?
Yeah. You make the most pristine, excellently crafted arrows. You're even able to, like, etch your name into the arrowhead a little bit. Or etch your signature sigil into it. So, Francis, you now have 10 arrows. It's going to be a lot easier for you to hunt now. But it is at the end of the day.
Should I add my cooking set to my journal notes?
Yeah, it should go under equipment. I forgot to do that. You can add... Actually, I'll add it because there's, like, specific details and it'll make sense when you see it. Well, actually, you might be able to see... I keep going over to actors just out of sheer habit. If you go to equipment, you'll see backpack, bedroll, rations, and you see how there's, like, numbers and stats. So let me just post it in between sessions.
Okay.
But, yeah, you guys have had a day. a couple days. And I think next time we can actually begin looking into the knights. You guys have gathered up enough to supplies and everything to actually start surviving. This is really starting to feel like Minecraft a bit.
Bum, bum, bum.
You got your stone tool. You got your stone tools, and now you're gonna have to go digging for iron. But in this case, iron
Alright.
is social capital.
All right, we got the stone arrows. That means we can use them to dig to get regular, to get iron.
All right, hello. Time for Mauchi Tales.
Whoop, whoop.
All right. Foreign folk in a foreign land. As you have a few hours until the inn owner is available, what would you like to do?
I want to. I don't know. I'm not sure how to explain this. I want to go do a little walk around town and just go into some shops and try to get kind of a secondhand read on how the Opal Knights are to work with.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't bring the wallet.
You just want to like gather information on them. Okay, so that's a pretty easy investigation check using the asking abilities. So,
And investigate is intellect or perception?
it can be intellect or charisma. If you're just going around asking people questions, that's more likely to be charisma.
Okay. There's one way to investigate, which means we're looking at 4d6. That is 4 effort.
For effort, open it up so that people can see. Perfect. And this is pretty straightforward, so I'm just gonna say that. 1 resistance, so 3 effort result. I want to see what the actual book says. Like, in my brain, I want to just like make a determination because that's how I run the game. But we're also testing it, so I want to actually read it, see what the...
Yeah, that makes sense. Basically, I'm trying to get a read on whether these are the kind of merchants you try to schmooze or the kind of merchants you just like straight talk and no BS with.
Gotcha. So it's interesting because on the one hand, everybody knows what you're talking about, who you're talking about. On the other hand, a lot of people just don't, basically kind of just make disgusted noises and walk away until you find that one old man who's been working for them forever. Real world equivalent would be like a union man, retired union man complaining about how things work these days. And the gist is they have such a stranglehold over imports from land that it is really difficult to negotiate around their terms. They do not usually have a reason to bring themselves down on their offers.
Does he have any kind of advice or suggestions? Because like I would have, I'm very like open and upfront about what we're trying to do, and that's get an ore trade route. Oh, loud.
Yeah. Hang on one moment. We got a little bit of a technical difficulty.
Sorry, that's my bad.
We did not. Okay, we forgot to put up a little sound barrier. Well, while Liz is helping with the technical difficulties, what are you two doing? Francis and Boris.
I'm at the forge again, or that lady forge person.
Lady Forge person.
Lady Forge. That's what Madame Forge.
Madame
Um,
Forge.
I will be talking to her, trying to get her to warm up to me and teach me stuff.
Okay. I believe you've already
Brought in
made... Sorry.
Sorry, you brought in the fourth wall.
All right. Well, I believe you already made a check to like get in her good graces today. So, and you've always ended up on a tie. You're kind of in a standing position.
Oh,
I will
it's the same
say
day?
what?
It's the same day. I thought we went to a new day.
No, it's the end of this day. I
Ah.
will say you could try to do something as long as it doesn't take longer than a few hours to give yourself an edge the next day to talk to her.
I did not hear any of that. You sounded like you were in a metal tube. I think it was more of an internet thing.
Okay. Oh yeah, there's a break in her internet.
Yeah,
Can
I
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay.
Knowing that it's not the next day, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure to do my chores before I can go to sleep at the inn. You know, the one where we have to do 2 hours of work to be able to sleep the night.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Eagle, is Francis doing anything extra?
think so. I think we're probably just wandering town, seeing all the stuff around.
Okay. If you spend time on that, if you use a city navigation check later, I'll give you advantage on it if you just want to do some prep time for that, essentially. Familiarizing yourself with the area. That's fair.
Oh yeah.
Just wait on Liz. Let's say during your time working, you can make a check. It's sort of like how when you were on the ship. You can make like an athletics check if you can't think of anything, or you can tell me what skill you use that's useful in running in, like helping out and it in. Maybe you'll get some tips if you do well.
Make Borkus do tricks if he is willing.
Make Borkus do tricks. Okay.
If he is willing.
If he is willing.
I don't control him so much as ask him for help for things.
Yep. All right. Borkus. Have Borkus. What's his expression?
I don't know.
I think it's incinerate.
Borkus. Expression, incinerate.
Okay. So, unless you can tell me how that's used for tricks, we're going to say it's just a straight spirit check, which is just going to be PL D6. And you're trying to impress people who are tired, waiting for their meals. Yeah, it's not going to be an easy check. So PLD6.
He's gonna warm up people's meals who have been there too long.
Okay.
Or tea or coffee or whatever hot things need to be hot. He's gonna help with that.
That's much easier. So go ahead and do PL plus 1. Because that suits your spare convenience. So that's going to be 3d6.
3d6. And hold on, let me figure it out. All right, what number? Sorry, what numbers do I need to roll under?
For spirits, unless you have feats that are relevant, which you don't, it's 3 or under.
Okay, 1. Got 1.
Okay. And there was 0 resistance, so you do indeed make people you make people's food a little bit warmer. Their meals are a little more satisfactory, and you are credited for this. So you get 500 alu in tips.
Ooh, I get money.
Okay.
Woo.
Anybody else want to do something special for the night shift? Or the evening shift, rather?
I'll just help cook. That's about it.
You can make a cooking check. That's going to be a harder check to get because there are well-trained chefs there.
Okay. What do I roll?
Your cooking skill +1. I'm going to roll it against the standard. Or sorry, your cooking skill +3 d6.
Okay. What's my cooking skill? 1, so 46.
Correct. I am, however, doing the base level skill of those there. Okay, and cooking uses your intellect.
What's my intellect?
5.
My
I don't know.
intellect is 4.
Okay, so how much effort did you roll?
14.
Nope. You just count the ones that are 4 and below.
Okay, so how do I check again? There we go. So 3.
3. And I rolled 3 on the average chef's roll. So effectively, you don't upset anyone, but you don't draw any special attention for your cooking skills either. Okay. Now, as the shift ends, the owner has been there. The owner that you wish to talk to has been there, but he's also been very busy. He comes in during the busiest times. Finally, things start winding down. A lot more people start going up to their beds. So you have a gap in the business in which you can speak with him.
I'm gonna march up to him. Good evening.
Evening.
I have a bit of a question for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, what's that?
How does one get in contact with the Opal Knights?
What? Why? Why do you want to know?
My friends and I are from Mauchi, and we're looking at setting up a new trade route, specifically for ores between our city and the mainland.
Okay.
I'm told the way to get that moving is probably through the Opal Knights.
I didn't catch that. What?
I'm told the way to get that moving is most likely through the Opal Knights.
Yeah, that's not wrong. Here's the thing. If everything in this town runs on their overland contributions. Everything from the ocean is subject to Argonon's whims. It's hard to rely on the sea routes for anything. If I make a bad recommendation to them, if I send you to them and you don't follow through on whatever it is, they can make my life miserable.
Are we able to speak with them without a recommendation, or do we have to have one of those?
Recommendation would be ideal, but technically you don't need it just to go to their office.
I see. And what makes you so hesitant about it? Is there something in my deportment that makes you nervous? Are there already trade routes established with the which coast is Kodohima on?
Oh, west.
Are there already trade routes established with the west coast of Mauchi? Are we walking into a losing battle?
There aren't many trade routes to Mauchi to begin with, so the
So it's a very lucrative offer, right for the taking.
you can make a barter check on this.
Streetwise.
Okay.
That's presence.
Presents, great. Love that. Good. Question. Using situational bonuses, such as, I'm trying to talk quieter so I don't come through and it's not working. Such as the siren song.
Yes.
Is that something that needs to be called before the roll, after the roll, before the result?
Good point. I should write that down. Let me see if it says it in the ability. But in general, I should probably have a rule for that.
Yeah. Powers tend to be stronger when they're after the roll, before the result. I don't know how much that matters because you're not you don't waste it.
It just says of their choice. Let's see how it looks when you do it. When you choose to do it after you roll.
Okay. Presence check. 5d6. And that uses charisma, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go for broke and say let's use those 2 advantages and re-roll the 6 and 5.
Okay.
That is 5.
All right, 5 effort. I only rolled 1 resistance on 4d6 of all things. So 4 effort total. That's really good. And he
Should I have saved that for actually dealing with the Opal Knights? Probably, but we may not get to them tonight, so.
he kind of looks around. He's like, I can tell you guys are hard workers. You're gonna need a lot. The journey ahead of you is going to be a lot. And you're like,
We have, at the bare minimum, a year to get this done, and frankly, I'm fine with it taking longer if it means I can return home with a monumental business venture underway.
his spirit companion is just a cloud. That's that gives off sometimes it gives off a little bit of misty rain that never really seems to touch anything. Other times it's just giving off a little bit of snow. Now you can see like little crackles of electricity around it, and the cloud kind of just goes over, grabs. Yeah, it seems to literally grab a piece of parchment and bring it over to him. Thank you, Whiff. You took it away from the ink and quill. I need to actually write on it, but thank you. And he just like starts scratching something out. Okay. I'm going to give you this. And I really hope you can come through on it. They don't like you. It's not good for me. He hands you a letter of recommendation.
All the more impetus to do this right. Thank you.
So when do you want to head over?
Probably not at night. I think they'd be asleep.
Next day?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay. So you come. Yeah, he also gives you instructions on how to find the building, which is this rather angular, circular building. You can't tell if it has 6 or 8 sides from the angle you're at, but it's like this angled off sides with a couple other buildings very close together, so that it forms narrow alleyways. And there are already people kind of just going in and out of the building. When you walk in, there is a lounge parlor area in a way. There's a lot of soft seating, and there is a full bar there. It doesn't look like there's food being served exactly, other than like dried, like nuts and dried fruit sort of thing. Rather than a full kitchen, but there is a bar there. Plenty of well-watered refreshments to be had, and space for people to just kind of sit and as they're waiting for things. A very cushy sort of hurry up and wait place. With a desk with a man dressed in very tight but layered clothing and a giant fat cat sitting in front of it. And when I say giant, I mean impossibly giant. It is big enough for Aiden to ride.
Is this a real cat or is this a spirit?
Judging by
That's what I was gonna ask.
Judging by the size, probably a spirit.
Is there... this is kind of a weird tangential related to nothing question, but now I'm curious. Are there spirits that are like on the line of indistinguishable from regular animals? Like, is that a mistake you could actually make?
Yes.
Good to know. I guess I'm gonna walk up.
No further questions. That's good to know.
I'm just curious. I'm gonna walk up. Good morning.
You have an appointment?
No, but I do have a letter of recommendation and a lot of questions. And I slap the scroll down on the... Is it a scroll or a letter?
That's a scroll.
I slap the scroll down on the desk.
Picks it up. Well, Bob in the barrel, but it is a recommendation nonetheless. Okay. Mauchi, please watch the desk for me. A young woman comes up and basically just it takes his place. I would like the 3 of you to follow me, and please keep your spirits decorporealized. Thank you. He walks in first. After you follow, the cat lumbers in and sits in front of the door.
Intimidating.
All right, so you have a recommendation for opening up a trade route to an untapped market. It's a little vague. Didn't even mention what untapped market. So why don't we start with introductions?
I'm Boris.
Boris.
She's my manager.
What do you do, Boris?
I'm a smithy.
Okay, so we're going to be
Which is very relevant.
very relevant. Okay, so you're looking to trade in labor or materials?
The latter.
Materials. Okay. And the gentleman with the bow.
My name is Francis. I am a navigator, and
Okay. Hired help. Got it. All right.
He's here to do what we can.
And manager's name?
Findorn. Lex.
Okay. So, what can you offer the Opal Knights?
The west coast of Mauchi.
That's bold.
Well, starting with Kodohima, but I'd like to think there's room to grow.
You're serious?
Completely.
Okay. So, I think it's quite clear what you want from us. You want a steady supply of ores that you can't get in the tan. What exactly are you offering here? How do you offer to deal with the complexities of such a trade route?
That is where compromise is needed. I hope you don't expect me to provide everything and all you do is give us the materials.
I suppose my question is, how do we have any assurances that that this trade route will be secure against, threats like sirens, Argonon?
Well, I would say we'd probably start small. I'm not saying we need galleons crossing the sea tomorrow, but something to get started. Perhaps just one ship testing the route. Part of this is needing the funding to get things started as well. The exploration of the route needs to be made.
Okay, asking the guild to... He's writing this down as he's saying it. Asking the guild to front a lot of risk. Okay, go ahead and make a barter check for me.
I'm real scared to see how many dice you're about to roll.
That is 3 resistance,
3 effort. Nope, 2 effort. I lied.
1 resistance. Okay. Oh, that's actually a good chance to use this. Do. Can y'all see that?
yes.
Okay. So you want the outer ring to fill before the inner ring is basically how this is going to work. So he writes that down. He looks around at the rest of you like, points at Boris. You.
Me.
You said you're a smithy.
Correct.
So you'll be representing the skill of your people in that regard.
Yeah, sure.
If we send our ore there, it doesn't if it doesn't get turned into anything useful, then we lose credibility in that market.
Okay.
All that risk was for nothing. So, what can you make for me in, we'll say a week?
Add a character. What's something good that you can make in a week?
Here. So real quick, I'm gonna share. You should already have it, but I'm going to share again the chapter 5 of the book. I'm gonna put it in the private Discord. Mauchi Tales RPG. That has all the skill stuff. But I'm also going to scroll through it myself and look at smithing. which starts all the way on page 132.
That's interesting.
Still loading.
All right.
I don't have.
I just keep seeing the numbers go up.
Oh, interesting. It must be because I've loaded it so many times it just pops up for me instantly now. So you can make light armor in a few days, medium armor in a week, a shield in a day. We already discussed that ammo can take. In addition to that, here's Chapter 8, which has... Nope, not Chapter 8. Chapter 6, which has items, and items have crafting times on them. So let me share that as well.
I don't have the area you're talking about in the private chat.
You don't see the Mauchi Tales RPG one?
Nope.
Why can't I at you? I heard the doo-doo.
Did you mean to just send me everything?
Oops, that's the wrong one.
Is there supposed to be 169 pages in Chapter 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the...
Also, you posted chapter 5.
Yeah. Shish.
Okay, I was really confused. I didn't know if I was, looking at it wrong.
Okay, there, right. Chapter 5, Chapter 6. Okay. So, yeah, you could definitely do up to medium armor within a week. You can make most weapons within that time, or possibly, I mean, not artillery. Artillery is going to take... for a single person, artillery would take a year to make. And
So, who am I? What is their chief export? Is it just ores, or do they do something else?
Grutan is a country famous for if it doesn't have it, then they probably trade in it.
So, what's something that would impress him? Is that something I can do a check for?
In terms of smithing, yes, you can make a knowledge check, which is just intellect with whatever ability seems relevant.
You said intelligence?
Intellect, yeah.
Intellect. So I have a 4 in that. How many? I don't have any feats or skills that would be... Or smithing. I got smithing. SR 3?
Mm-hmm.
So how many dice do I roll again?
You would roll 3 more than your SR.
And it would have to be under 4, right?
Yep, if your intellect is 4.
That's, Hold on, another word. Effort is a success, right?
Effort. So you count the number of effort, and then we're going to compare it to a resistance. But before I roll resistance, I'm going to ask you, do you want to use your Song of Blessing? Which you have until the end of this session.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. So re-roll 2 of those 5s. Ooh.
Okay, that's 5 successes?
5 effort.
5 effort.
All right.
Effort is when you get under the number, correct?
The number or under.
Okay, so that's technically successes then.
Success is when you have more effort than resistance.
Okay.
It's a nuance, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the lingo down.
Yeah. Effort is when success is when you have more effort than resistance. So it's the result of both sides of the roll, not just your roll. This being a knowledge check, it is unresisted. You just get more information per effort. So 5 effort is a lot. Undefended. You know that Gruton has has a lot of military history, and even in recent years. Some of it was generations ago. It was directed at Mauchi. Hasn't been for a long time because Mauchi is not a place that's worth conquering for the most part. But you know that they would benefit from arms and armor a lot. They probably have a lot of arms and armor smithies, but you, with 5 effort, you know that they're more concerned with output than quality. So there might be an avenue in which you could output the same amount with better quality that they would be interested in.
So weapon, arms, and armor. How about a bunch of ammo for an artillery?
Bunch of ammo for artillery. Let's see.
There's half a day, but if I can get so much ammo created,
Yep.
maybe that would impress him.
Okay. Now, the trick is, okay. So you're gonna make the offer to make our ammo for artillery.
In exchange for the ore, in which we can hopefully... Wait. Hold on. This is what we're supposed to be doing with the ore for them.
Yeah, this is just getting the ball rolling. We're proving to him that sending ore to Mauchi wouldn't be a waste of time because you are Mauchi right now. You're saying this is what Mauchi people can do with their skill with ore. You got it. You're fine. You got a week.
I can make X amount of shells in exchange for the ore, I guess.
To prove that you can, you just want to prove that you can do it.
Okay, yeah, I can.
Yeah,
output.
Well, I suppose you can do that with just some stone, cut down on costs a little bit to prove your points. I assume you don't have the materials on hand yourself.
No, we're gonna go with no.
We are a little far from home at the moment.
Right. So
I'm
not
just
only
gonna whisper in her ear. I'm like, what's in her area?
Okay. You wanna? Okay, so maybe we should try for something a little bit smaller. He does seem rather impressed with how you talk, but he's unwilling to put that amount of money out there. We will give you a 3 advantage to the next charisma check in this encounter, due to the amount of knowledge you got off of that, and how well you articulated it. Egos.
3 advantage to the group.
Yes, 3 advantage to 1 check.
Gotcha.
I know words.
Eagle, do you think you have anything to contribute to this? Well, let's see if you have any ideas. I have a suggestion if you don't, but
I could help navigate the shipments, maybe?
I'm gonna. So do you plan on taking this through the sea, or do you plan on taking this through the Winthal Mountains? You did mention the coast, but we do specialize in overland. We would have to make a deal with another organization unless you provide ships.
I mean, this is out of character. Are we on the same continent, but a different part? I thought we were on a different continent.
No, you're on the same continent. You're just separated by the Winthal Mountains.
Oh. My
That makes a
geographic
lot.
vision was completely off. Okay. Good to know. I think this is a question the navigator should answer. Do you think it would be more apropos to chart a new sea course or go through the mountains?
It's probably faster to go on the sea.
But then you have to deal with Argonon. But you go through the
Mhm.
mountains, you do have to deal with Winthal himself. So either way, you're dealing with a great spirit. That's why this is one of the reasons why Mauchi is so poor.
And we would also have to get the ships for them.
This company is an overland company, so yeah, they do not provide the ships themselves. Either you would have to provide the ships yourselves somehow, or you would have to make a deal with another company that does you oversee. You'd have to like broker the contract between the two.
So, go ahead.
Probably
Did you have something?
overland is better then. It's cheaper, and you have to deal with a little less.
Yeah. My question is, I presume with us having had this plan, some research would have been done prior.
Sure.
What would Lex know in terms of like just straight efficiency of overland versus oversea, like the amount you can carry at once, the speed at which you can move?
How about we have Eagle or Francis do a nature intellect check for wilderness navigation to answer that question.
Okay, nature check you said?
Mm-hmm.
What's my nature? 2. So
Okay.
I roll 5 dice?
Correct.
What is that one associated with? So I don't have that feat or that skill.
The skill can be associated with perception and charisma, but this is a knowledge check, which is always intellect.
Okay.
So it's 5 and below for which ones count?
No, it's check. What's your intellect?
Oh, intellect. My intellect is 4. That's right.
Okay.
Mine is also 4.
So
We're gonna let Eagle, since he's the navigator, we're just gonna let him do this knowledge check.
Okay.
So how much effort
Cool.
did you roll?
4.
Okay. 4 efforts, not bad. The main problem with the overland route is there is a deeper bottleneck of resources because you can only bring what goes into a cart. I mean, obviously you can have a larger caravan, but the more people that go through the Winthal Mountains, the more likely they are to attract the attention of Winthal. The ship can carry more, but then there's a whole eggs in one basket situation with that. So you can do more via sea if it works. If you go through the mountains, there are paths that the Mauchi know about that are relatively safe if you keep the numbers low enough. So it's a kind of a more people, greater risk, or fewer people. By sea you could do more, but there's a greater risk. By land you can't do as much, but you can maintain the risk a lot better.
So it's probably better by land.
Another reason why by land is an option. It's not the best thing for y'all, but as a selling point, that would bring you by Petre, which is the largest Mauchi city. Not Kodahima, which is your home, but it might be a selling point to the Opal Knights. That also brings up your next charisma roll up to 5 advantages. Actually, we'll say it's 3 on one, 2 on another. That's probably okay.
Okay.
Y'all have provided Lex with the information. Now, Lex, if you would like to try to sell that information with barter check.
Okay. So that's another presence. So we're gonna do another 5d6. And you said 3 advantages?
Yes.
That's a good thing. Well, I only need 2. Do they explode? Like, could I roll those 2 and then roll another one?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. So 1, 2, 3, 4 effort total.
Versus 3 resistance.
There's 1 success. Hey! Do we? Okay. Question. Sorry. Mechanics are in my head. Is this whole? Do we need to get those 4 in this conversation, or is this like we will come back to this in a week when Boris has his ammo to show and like we've done other bits of research?
You can break this up, absolutely.
Okay.
So you kind of like, okay, tell you what, let's see what you can do with some simple armor. I'll give you enough resources to make said armor, and you show me your skills, and we'll continue the discussion then.
Seems fair enough.
All right. And we can do some more research of our own in the meantime.
As you wish. I believe this space is needed for another meeting.
It was a pleasure conversing with you, Mr.
Avon.
Ava. And I pulled out my hand.
He kind of awkwardly grips it. Just kind of clearly guessing what to the gesture. And
Is that just a Mauchi thing, or is that something that just doesn't exist in this world at all and I made it up because I'm a person in the 21st century who assumes business deals under a handshake?
well, it didn't exist in Mauchi, now it does.
Alright. Mr. Avan. 2 more advantages with a charisma check to him.
Okay. So, Manny, or Boris rather, does have a task before him. And you get the... Okay. I'm going to lay out the details of the task in fairly plain language right now. They do provide you with ore. It's even been cleaned and refined. You do have to, of course, heat it back up to use it again. But A, they do not provide you with a workshop. B, it's clearly the refuge from a much better ore repository, shipment. So it's not the highest quality ore. And C, they
That's
don't...
not the worst.
Sorry?
It's not the worst though, right?
It's not the worst. And C, they did not give you extras, like leather and wood to like bind things together, that sort of thing. So I'll let y'all muse on how to deal with that, what you guys are going to do during the week, or how you're going to make that easier, better, or more impressive as we take a quick break.
Do they have a yield makerspace?
So, you have a terrible lump of ore, no way to process it, and no way to bind it together once you do shape it.
What exactly am I making? Am I making cannonballs? Am I making ballista ammo? Like, what's...
He asked you because of the amount of materials involved. He asked you to do armor instead, because artillery, multiple sets of artillery for ammo for artillery would be a lot, since he's fronting the ore. So,
Okay. I didn't know if I was making like balls or. Um,
He wants you to show off your skill. Just simple balls would not do it.
that's fair enough. Let's go talk to Madame Forge, as I like to call her now.
I feel like you should, by this point, know her name.
I don't.
You have spent almost 3 days observing her. How do you not know her name?
It's been a week since I've, been to her forge.
No.
Not
I
in
mean,
game.
Boris should know her name. I've not once asked.
Or was like, that was a week ago. It was like 3 days ago. What was her name again?
I don't think y'all got her name.
Well, see,
We
now
did
you're getting
not.
on me over something I don't even know.
That's not her.
No, that's
point.
my point.
Yeah.
The point is, you should have asked her what her name
Right.
was.
I'm going to come up with her name. Since we didn't ask her, I'm going to start calling her Madame Forge. Since we don't have a name at this point.
Fidelia.
Fidelia. Madame Fidelia Forge.
Okay.
I should ask if we can rent your space in your forge before we stick our feet too much further into our mouths.
You want to use my forge?
I.
I'm using my forge.
What about when you're not using it?
She kind of like furrows her brow a bit. For what purpose?
I need, did he say specifically how much armor or just like one set of armor?
Just one set of armor.
Alright. I need to make this to impress my superiors.
And what's plan? How do you plan to go about it? Okay. Now we're gonna use the new mechanic, where you can use any ability with charisma to do a shop talk check. I'm gonna come up with a better name for this mechanic. But it's like
Anyway, bop it boopy.
I mean, honestly, shop talk is a good name.
I mean, shoot the shit's also one of them, but I don't know if you want to use that.
I don't think so.
We're doing a STS maneuver.
That's good. I like that. So
just call it
I
a
wanna do
SCS check, but don't elaborate on what the acronym means.
I mean, just smithing talk is the only real thing I can think of.
Yep, you can just do smithing, any of the 3 abilities, but you don't have feats, so that doesn't really matter. But you just use charisma, and it's just to get advantages on this exact situation where you need to get a favor from someone in that field.
Okay. Go away, VG. You're in my way.
Okay. Now,
Hey.
what is your charisma?
Wait, that was supposed to be 66, right? I did that wrong. Sorry. Well, great. I critted twice. That's not good.
Luckily, you didn't do it with the spirit.
3 charisma. Charisma's 3, so that's generated 3 efforts.
3 effort. Okay. Now, you exclusively can take 2 advantage on a charisma check with this person. That's how that mechanic works. You effort halved to your next charisma check with this person. So it's like very specific. This character gets effort halved to the next charisma check against this target. It is not
Sounds
shared.
good.
It's not shared. Although if I were to come up with, I'm having ideas.
Stop that.
Yeah, stop him.
We're in editing phase. Stop.
It's time to stop. Oh, the clock though. Damn it.
Okay. So, with that said, you can now make an appeal check unless you have something to offer her, and then you would make a barter check. So that's presence, by the way.
I don't have anything to offer except my my personality, which that's not going to help me here.
And
Um,
so you have 2 advantages from your shop talk. As someone with ratings in that skill, Liz can just automatically give you an advantage, 1 advantage as a help act, basically a help action.
so you said presence or wait, perception or
Presence with charisma. So basically roll 3d6. You want 3 or lower. If you get anything above 3, re-roll that.
can I use that to advantage?
That's what the re-roll is.
Oh.
So re-roll those 2 6s. Hey.
Hey.
Okay. All right. She kind of like bites a little bit, lip a bit, it's like, and then says, "You can use it at night. I use it throughout most of the day. I stop using it in the afternoon. So afternoon through the nights, it must be clear before dawn."
Awesome.
Yeah, basically from like 4 p.m. to 4 a.m. is when you can use it.
Leads.
Which is plenty of time for this project.
Where would be the best place to source fittings, leather strapping, the sort of non-metal things one might need for armor?
The woods.
Marvelous. Well, we have someone who can take care of that. And I just like clap Francis on the back. I suppose that leaves me with research.
All right. Francis, what are you doing now that Boris has a forge to work with?
Does he need any specific things that can come from animals, like leather or anything?
Yep. That's exactly what he needs. He has the ore. He doesn't have any leather to like bind it together into an actual wearable object.
Alright, I'll go hunting for a while. I have 10 arrows now.
All right.
And I helped.
You
What?
also have
With the
Fenris, just as a reminder.
Well, yeah, he could help quite a lot.
His expression is not super suited to it, but you can still.
There you go. It's time. It's time to stop. Come on, get in there. See? Time to stop. There we go.
The delay between the start of this stupid joke and the payoff.
It took me a minute to get it all done.
I'm so excited to edit this.
30
Okay.
seconds later.
So, hunting. Only take. So, hunting is a. It's either a day action or a half day action. Let me remind myself.
It's probably a day action.
Yeah, it's a day action, but you can still, like, if you were doing it while moving, you could still do a half day movement. That's right. Okay, yeah, you can spend all day. So it's a wilderness tracking nature using perception. I realize I have a lot of words to say a single check, but it's apropos.
So,
That shit
it's
sucks.
what? Sorry.
You roll nature.
Nature, which is 2. So 5d6.
Mm-hmm. And you're looking for your perception and lower. And let me determine. So this is not going to be a difficult check. Hang on.
Perception. Oh, I think it's right here. Perception is 4. And I got 3.
Now, this is a fairly lush area full of critters. Ergo, it is going to be 2d6 resistance. DR2 resistance. It did roll 2 resistance, but you rolled 3 effort, so you succeed with 1 effort. That is enough food for a group size value 3 for a few days.
Honestly, I'd
That's a
probably
lot of
recommend
food.
selling that since we're getting room and board for some work. Could get
Just leave
some
a
decent
few
money.
leather scraps for me so I can put the fasteners and everything on.
Yeah, you get the leather, get the skin tanned, but the meat can probably be sold for decent money.
Okay.
Make a really big stew.
Yeah, I probably need some money.
Okay.
You need money. Yeah, definitely. Go sell it. That's a great idea.
So you get it all together. Part of the hunt check is actually processing it. So yeah, you do know how to do that as part of wilderness tracking. So you have a bunch. You fell some deer. I would say, honestly, a deer can probably keep a fair few people fed for a few days. And you fell a deer, and you spend most of the day skinning it up and parsing it out. Lex, what are you doing for this first day? The week.
If memory serves, we were told getting entrance to the archives is not as easy as just walking in the door.
Correct.
I want to look at getting into the archives.
Okay. The archives has a similar setup to the to the Open Night Guild Hall, with that sort of lounge area. It's very common in Gruton, it seems. Except this one's a little more austere. It's got like more wooden chairs, tables in front of them. There you see someone there with a just full-on book in their hands, which is not the most common sight in the world. And they're just sitting at the table with the book and literally just a pot of tea in front of them. It's just a very austere yet kind of coziness to it. And there's a rather severe looking woman at a desk in very similar location to the guild hall. It's a very similar setup, except instead of a giant fat cat, she has a just the smallest hedgehog, like palm-sized hedgehog, crawling across the front of her desk. Except this hedgehog is, I almost said blue. I'm not going to say blue.
Dun, dun.
It is mostly clear, actually. Like you can, you just see the whatever's behind it kind of refracted through its, warped and refracted through its quills.
Can I don't need to do this, but I want to. Can I make a discernment trying to guess what kind of spirit that is? Because the way you describe it, it could be wind, light, or frankly water, possibly. So.
Sure. Go in nature?
Yeah, that makes sense. I have
Intellect.
no nature. Intellect. All right, 3d6. Let's go. Three effort.
Like you said, it's going to be hard to discern it just somebody looking at it. Okay. Okay, it is a light spirit.
See, that makes sense. I figured it out because I know light spirits. Cool. I just wanted to know that. Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Afternoon? Is it afternoon at this point? I don't know.
Y'all waited till the next day, so it'd be. Wait. No.
But we also did the whole, like,
Yes,
forge.
it would be about afternoon now. Good afternoon. You're not a regular.
No, I'm not a local. What is the process by which one can gain entry to the archives?
Well, as with many things you'll find in this country, you need a letter of recommendation. In this case, you would need it from either a university, a recognized university academ, or higher, or you would need it from a trying to think of a good. I don't have all the titles worked out for Crouton, but she basically says not a mayor, but like a city council person or higher in government,
Local government official.
local government official.
Noted. Might I ask your recommendation on the least involved way of doing that?
Given that this town doesn't have a university, it's a miracle we have an archive, so it would be a little difficult for you to go to another city, get the recognition, bring it back, and they probably have a better archive for you, so. But, on the other hand, I don't entirely advise getting involved with this city. Oh, you can also get. Some guilds also have the ability to issue recommendations on behalf of government officials.
I'm gonna march right back to Yvonne.
Okay, well, I don't see a set of armor on you, so I just imagine a screen wipe just whoop, whoop, whoop.
No, he did start working on that this morning. However, part of the second phase of our pitch is intended to be more information. And I learned this morning that you need a letter of recommendation for everything in this town, including getting into the library, which I'm going to try not to think too hard about. She told me that some guilds are able to give letters on behalf of government officials, and I was wondering if I might request of you a letter so that I can then have more information to present to you at the end of the week, because as such, I currently don't have a satisfactory knowledge.
I cannot provide that. I would have to go to my boss's boss for that.
And how much effort would that be?
I don't know, roll for it. I'm kidding. Let's see.
Or do you have another recommendation? I was told essentially it was either this or go to another city, which I don't think I have time for.
Let's see how well this armor comes out, and then we'll talk.
But okay. That is going to prolong this conversation because I was hoping to have this information ready for you at the time we present the armor. I just don't want to waste your time.
You make an infuriate check? You literally just threatened to make the conversation that he's clearly annoyed with longer. That's an infuriate check. That's intimidate.
Well, I do not have intimidate, but I assume that's charisma.
Correct.
Okay. Well, let's see where this gets us.
I love them. I love infuriate.
Okay, 3d6. You're looking for 4 or lower. Heyo, that is 2 effort.
2 effort. Unfortunately, it is kind of his job to screen frivolous requests. And after a while, you have to leave with the idea that Opal Knights might be the most emblematic symbol of this kind of rampant.
Government bureaucracy bullshit.
Yes, they feed into it very hard because it benefits them.
Okay. I really want to do those archives.
Wait, wasn't this in the Name of Wind?
Well, okay. Take two. I want to try and find out what the smallest, most intimate guild in town is.
Okay. It's going to take the rest of the day just to get that asking questions out of the way, but it is an.
We got a week. It's fine.
All right, you can do an asking questions check.
And that is
Investigate.
investigate. Hey yo, we'd love to see it.
That one's going to be a little bit hard just because it's a matter. It's just.
A weird question.
Yeah, people are going to have different ideas of what that is. Like the biggest guild in town, everyone knows. The smallest guild in town, everyone's going to have an idea of.
That is 4 effort from moi.
3 resistance. We rolled max both. All right. There is some contradiction. But you find out that there is a little bit of a startup in a fishery guild. Basically, you have a main fishing guild. You have a main fishery guild that goes out there, and they have like all the good ships and all of the crew and everything. But they are kind of they are a guild from out of town that is kind of like taken over and like crushed all the other guilds under their boots. This new one is more of a family affair that they technically got the paperwork set up to be allowed to fish in the same waters.
Cool. What kind of ships are they running?
They are running 2 fishing boats.
Okay.
Smaller than the Salt Skipper.
I want to search them out.
Okay. It's called Denad and Sons.
Dinad or the Nad?
Denad is the name. DANNAD.
Okay.
But it is also the end of at this point it is the end of the day. So
Yeah. Tomorrow.
okay. I assume Boris and presumably Borkus are going to try to basically switch their sleep schedule to work in LaForge.
Correct.
Okay. We're going to have you make an endurance check for that adjustment, basically. Basically make smithing with vigor. Yeah, but use vigor as your roll below.
Mm-hmm. I don't like that. It's gonna be 2 efforts.
All right, 2 effort. Okay. The first endurance roll is 0, so so you're good for now. You're just you're a little tired, but you're managing to do it. And the biggest problem is trying to fall asleep for the next day. So you're spending all night hammering away at this.
I'm exhausted, just like in real life. Cool.
Should be easy to roleplay.
I want to roleplay that. I want to roleplay having energy for once.
All right. Boris has suddenly swapped with Caesar.
Mm,
That's
that's not gonna work well. I just saw Liz's face.
All right. Eagle or Francis, you have a ton of you've handed over the meat, the leather to be used. You now have a ton of meat on your hands.
Yeah, I would like to go sell that at the butcher or something like that.
Okay.
Or maybe even that tavern we saw.
Okay. You want to? Okay, so you take it to the tavern, and the tavern owner's has a mild freak out. Okay, hang on.
Really?
Yep. He's just like, okay, just get inside quickly before anyone sees you.
You killed the village god, didn't you?
Or he killed without a permit.
Ah.
Oh, wait.
Yep, you got it in one there. He's like holding his bra. He's just like, okay, I'm gonna guess, unless your conversation with the Oval Knights went way better than I expected, I'm gonna guess you didn't get a written permission to do this, did you?
You need a permission to go hunting?
Technically, it depends on what woods you hunted in, but unless you have a wind spirit, an air spirit that took you, 20 kilometers away from here, you probably hunted in the wrong woods.
Oh.
You don't have a wind spirit, do you?
No.
Okay. The
Oh, no.
whiff, his spirit whiff is now kind of like breaking into thinner clouds as it just like it goes from that mist to an actual downpour. Okay. That's fine. No one needs to know.
Yeah. Good to know now.
Just need a way to get rid of this.
Yeah, I was hoping to sell it, but now I know.
Okay. Now begins the arc where Francis fences meat. Fences venison.
It could have gone way worse. I just want to say you fumbled it, but it could have been worse.
Yeah,
meat.
So. Okay. Tell you what. Okay, I'm trying not to freak out. Do you know what to... I mean, I don't want to just get rid of it. That's...
yeah, I just killed one thing and it, one deer and it gave all this.
So, okay. What do you want to do?
I was still hoping to sell it, but if nobody's gonna buy it, it's probably best to feed it to Fenris, honestly. Wait, no, he doesn't eat.
He doesn't eat.
You could try.
Fenris would just wake up and go, alright. I mean, he wouldn't say that, but... Is this what eating is? You put the thing in your mouth and you just chew. No, stop that, Liz. You had a look. Okay.
I don't really know what to do here.
Okay, so, out of character. You could try to convince him to take it for free, or to take it as payment for the rest of your stay, since that cuts down on cost for him a lot. instead of working every night, which in turn would help Boris not make endurance checks quite so much, since he has to both smith at night and still pay his way at the inn.
Wait, this is a tavern, not the inn.
Tavern and inn.
Oh.
Which I know.
Uh,
I know historical accuracy. Shut.
Yeah, I'll try to give it to him for payment.
Another option
time.
is to ask him if he knows someone who would buy it off of you for money, or you could just dispose of it.
Yeah.
That would be very wasteful, but
I think you should eat it yourself. Whole.
I don't think I can eat 3 days of meat by myself.
That's quitter talk.
it's more than 3 days of meat. It's enough to feed 3 people for 3 days.
Oh,
It's
9 days of meat.
Yeah, it's a deer.
I don't know, man. It just sounds like quitter talk, if you ask me.
But you do come from a poor country. The idea of wasting food would not be appealing to you.
Yeah, I'll ask him if there's anywhere else to sell.
Well, okay, hang on. Fencing venison. This is not where I thought we were going tonight. How to fence venison. He's doing my pose right here, and it's just like, okay. Probably the best thing would to be spread it out among people who have problems with the guilds or no reason to interact with them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So poor folk, smaller guilds that might not care that might not care as much. Retirees who don't like the way that the guilds are working these days, that sort of thing.
Okay.
And yes, Lex, you can be privy to this conversation since it's pretty much.
How about you
next day.
use it to trap something bigger?
Well, I can't hunt here.
How about we use
right,
this
right.
to dig our hole deeper?
Is there any reason you wouldn't take it as payment for the rest of our stay? Do you have to show proof that it was hunted legally when you hand out your bowls of stew?
No, there would have to be an inspection, which I don't think there's any reason for them to do. He's kind of like hesitant on that idea.
Saves you time and money. And you don't have a
Cost.
bunch of slack-jawed idiots working in the kitchen. No offense, Francis, but also me and Boris.
Or snoring in the corner.
Okay, you can make a barter check, and if this fails, then I guess you're going to fence the venison. So,
For some reason, I was like, if it doesn't work, you'll die. Oh well.
if you succeed, free room and board. If you fail, you have to fence venison.
Yes.
What check?
Lex kind of made the offer. If this doesn't work, then you'll make the fencing checks. But she's gonna make a barter check, a barter presence
Okay.
check. Yep. Barter is presence.
1, 2, 3. Haha! 4 efforts.
2 resistance.
I beat you.
Yep. All right. He kind of like. Okay, but it's just gonna cover a meal and a night. It's just gonna cover a meal and a night for 2 days.
All right.
Make it 3.
He's just snoring. He's like, it's 3.
3. 5. 5 days.
And then, follow-up question. How hard is it to get a hunting permit?
That one actually shouldn't be too difficult. There's about a half dozen of them. They like all have like different stands split up, so they have to make sure that they get a workforce over the others, so they're usually a lot easier to deal with compared to like a transit guild like Opal Knights. So.
Well, Francis, I know what we're doing tomorrow.
Or today. This is the next day. So.
Finding something
Well,
that
Francis,
doesn't
I know what we're doing this morning.
finding something that doesn't exist.
What?
From
We're getting
Phineas
you a
and
hunting
Ferb.
permit.
Oh.
Giving a monkey a shower.
Oh.
Had to be done.
All right. So it comes down to the fact that you do have to pay a guild fee to join Hunter's Guild. The funny thing is, guild fees can very easily rack up to like 5,000, 10,000 a month. The local hunting guilds are in such fierce competition. That they consider it they give you a sign-in bonus that makes it basically 100 aloof for the first month.
Nice.
Mildly concerning, but yeah, I'll front it. Francis, you now have a hunting permit.
All right. Days are passing. I don't like. We don't have to go through every single day of this event. Boris, because you have free room and board, you don't have to make a endurance check for the next couple of nights, which is good. Is there anything for the remainder of the week that y'all want to kind of like run through real quick?
Is there a chance that Lex does not manage to make her way into the archives? Because that is her one goal for the week.
What was her approach? Remind me.
I was going to go to a smaller guild that might be easier to convince to give me a letter of recommendation into the archives.
Correct. Okay.
And also, potentially have a conversation with them about how far out to sea they go and how well they know the waters. And have any of them ever rode any trade routes? Like maybe, say, to the other coast of Mauchi.
Okay. This sounds like fairly deep conversation. I might save that for next time. Let's go ahead and finish the armor check just to, kind of end on that note. And then we can kind of like flashback and see what you were doing. So
What do I roll?
you roll smithing.
Mhm.
And if you had any feats, it would be armor. But armor smithing. And let me pull up the thing and actually roll according to what I have written down, not what I make up in my head on the spot like I do for every other RPG.
Oh no. I thought you knew what you were doing the whole time. I heard that from the other room. So it's under intellect, correct?
Correct.
I know things. 5. 5 effort.
And now y'all are going to see how hard it is to make armor. I rolled 3 resistance, so 2 effort success.
Ooh.
In spite, like, you rolled really well, and you came out with something that was indeed above basic quality. So, in your inventory or in your notes, add 2 effort armor, just to show what the quality of the armor is.
That's some nice ass armor.
It's no 3 effort armor, but it is a 2 effort armor.
and I put my all into this. I put all my effort into this. I did it twice. I wanted to do it so bad. I made 2 armors, fused them together. That's how much effort I put in this. Threw the first one out.
Okay. So,
Just because I'm nitpicky and I feel like these are things that should be brought up.
yes.
Shouldn't there have probably been a spirit aid check in there somewhere?
Correct. Yes, very good point. Boris can definitely help. I would even say the incinerate ability is actually kind of very useful for this.
He can get the impurities out.
He can get the impurities out. He can cut out corners that you just would have to like otherwise bend out and like take a while to shave out and everything. So go ahead and have Boris roll 4d6, or whatever your incinerate roll is. Okay.
So I'm not sure what to check. PL2.
It's PL2 times 2 is how many dice you roll, and then spirit checks are 3 or under unless you have a specific thing that says otherwise. So spirit checks
Just
are always 3
one.
and under. Just one.
You went.
So you can take
You
it
went.
in. Sorry, go ahead.
You
Am I robot-y to you?
went very robot there for me.
Well, we're almost done here. Because, so Borkus gives Boris an advantage on, so you can re-roll that 5. So it turns
Hey.
out it is a 3 effort armor. That's a very good, so you can change that to 3 effort.
Oh man, I mean better than I thought I was.
With the candle dog's help, yes.
He just heats stuff up. He's a warm pupper.
He just,
I just think of like, you know how when dogs are like chewing on a particularly big bone and they've got their like paws over it and they're gnawing on it? That's just Borkus like straightening out some of the pieces for you.
Was those teeth marks in there? It's like, no. Those are where I hammered it very well.
it's like, it looks weirdly stylistic. All right. So you have a good piece of armor. You've avoided having to fence venison. You're finding out how to get into the archives and the very stupid bureaucracy that defines Grutan. That's a good place to call it. We're a few minutes early, but that's fine. We're going way deeper into the weeds than I thought. I thought we would be at a different point by now.
I mean, okay, genuine, honest question, not trying to be facetious and like sarcastic. How did you think this was gonna go? Like, what were you expecting to happen?
I was expecting the weak part to be shorter, and you'll see, like, what I already have the next leg planned. That's all. That's the main thing. And then I started remembering the lore of Grutan, and then y'all like to turn over stones, and it's good. I like it. This is very much a game for y'all in a way.
Nerds. I thought you were gonna say nerds.
Yes.
It's I gotta say, I never thought this was something I would say, but this is system dependent, not story dependent. It's kind of nice not playing the hero of the world. We're just trying to do stuff, just trying to get a job, make some money.
Mm-hmm. This is
Like, oh god, the Kuduthan, the Eldritch one, is destroying the world. What do we do? And so I'm gonna go work on some smithing stuff.
You can absolutely do that stuff. There are great spirits in the world that could threaten things, or people could intentionally anger them to draw upon calamities, and you can save the world from that sort of thing. That is an option. I'm just trying to show a different side to RPGs.
Like, man, like, dude, I'm 19. I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah, a survival RPG.
Not even considered an adult yet.
So, any questions?
Wait, I'm older?
You're 20 or 21. I think.
It was like 21. I was being facetious, but yeah.
So
I
any
think all three of us are 21.
20 or 21.
Nope, I'm 20.
You're the baby.
He is called Young Eel. Any questions from either the players or from chat? This is a good time to ask.
I think I'm good.
I think so.
Oh,
Hmm.
XP. I forgot to do that. How much XP do we get this week?
Okay. That conversation technically hasn't finished, but you did make the army. Did the army. Huh. The whole 1 XP per event is a little confusing when you actually have all the events run together. I'm going to have to make a note about that. Okay, so armor, hunting, learning information. So you each definitely get at least 1.
Okay.
We'll say 2 for securing extra room and board, but we're going to have to wait. Unfortunately, I think it's just 2 this session.
Boy, it's more than 1.
So y'all, since none of y'all used XP, that should be a total of 5.
Yep.
5.
And I do think I will be using it this week because I want to get that barter and peel up higher.
But thank you everybody for joining us. Take care of yourselves. Happy gaming.
Bye.
Pisces.
Bye bye.